Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So today I'm going to be showing you guys the most optimized settings for GTX 1080 on Cyberpunk 2077, or as a lot of people like to call it now, Cyberbug 2077. So these may not, again, as my Red Dead Redemption 2 video, these may not be the absolute most optimized settings, but the game runs pretty well, and what I try to do with these settings is get max performance while getting max graphics, and I think these settings are the best settings for that, and it's already a better experience than I actually played the game with, because the game when I played it was around 45 to 50 all the time, and sometimes these settings can get you up to 65 to 70 frames per second. Kind of depends on where you're at, but let's take a look at the settings here. Now, some of you may or may not be surprised by these settings, but these settings right here, these basic settings, are all up to you. They don't really affect performance. They're mostly graphical things, or your field of view is, that's all up to you. That doesn't really matter. But anyways, in the settings here, I turned contact shadows on, improved facial lighting geometry on, this on to 16 times, and pretty much every single setting is on high. All the settings, every single setting, it's all on high. Now you can mess with these settings if you want even more frames, or if you're okay with like 30 frames, 30 to possibly 45 frames at all times. You could actually increase screen space reflection quality to the max and volumetric cloud quality to the max, because those just decrease your frames by so much. But then down here we get some resolution scaling, and we turn on dynamic FXCAS, whatever this is, dynamic scaling basically. Okay, that was weird. The game just like minimized for a second. I don't know what was happening, but you turn on this dynamic resolution scaling, and it says the internal resolution is upscaled and sharpened using AMD Fidelity FX thing. So the target frames I set to 60, the minimum resolution to 75, and the maximum resolution to 100. And you can turn on static fidelity instead of dynamic, but I'm pretty sure dynamic works better. I don't know, I never tried static, but those are my settings. And as we see, let's turn on the NVIDIA. I didn't mean to pull out my gun, but let's turn on the NVIDIA performance overlay in the corner, and we're getting around 59 to 60 frames right now at all times. I haven't seen it go into the 40s. No, Judy, why are you? No. Alright, before Judy rudely interrupted my video here, I took a car. I kind of stole this car, but we're not going to talk about that because it's all about performance. And the game looks great, I would say. It looks as good as Cyberpunk really can without being on max settings. I don't know why that is so bright. Don't mind the brightness. The brightness is ridiculously high right now. So maybe turn down some brightness in this game, but performance is staying. My goodness, that music, I couldn't think, and it's probably copyrighted, so that part of the video I might have to cut out. But anyways, performance is staying at like 60 frames pretty much, 55 to 60 frames the entire time, and we are driving around through the entire city. And so I would say this game is very, very playable and enjoyable on these settings, and you're going to have a pretty good time. As good of a time as you can in Cyberpunk 2077. I know a lot of people are having problems with this game, and can people stop calling me in this game? My goodness, more like Cyber Callers 2077. People won't stop calling my phone in this game. There we go. This is, for some reason, right here is the biggest performance hit. And I don't know why that is actually. Are we near water? This is really bad. This is like 44 frames. Yeah, so we're near water. So water is really bad. So around the middle of the map, where in the city where the water is, the frames might decrease, but I actually didn't see any settings to decrease the quality of water. in the graphics, so I don't really know how to get past that. It just, the game just kind of gives up on itself when you're near lots of water. Also, of course, I'm going to talk about some other options here. You can always put the game on all medium instead of all high slash on, instead of some settings being just completely turned off. You can do that and turn off resolution scaling. AMD's resolution scaling, you can turn that off, because sometimes if the performance starts to go down, it will scale kind of low. That also depends on what number your minimum resolution is allowed, and sometimes there'll be some blurriness and fuzziness, but that is because the performance drops and it tries to lower the resolution to increase your frame rate, so that happens. So if you don't want that, you can turn it on all medium, but I think this is a pretty good playable, enjoyable experience in Cyberpunk 2077, and I kind of wish I used these settings when I play through the game instead of playing it how I was playing it and only getting like 30 to 45 frames. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video, so hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you guys think about these settings that I'm giving you. What are your guys' settings on Cyberpunk, and how do you guys feel about Cyberpunk and its recent updates? And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because you want to be subscribed, and I will see you guys next time.